Oh, what a night we've got coming. We've got the Grizzlies against the Mavs tonight. We've got high school playoffs tonight. And we got a huge football game at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Tulane in town, and there are playoff implications. We got a big basketball game tomorrow night. The Tigers in San Francisco, a two of unknowns, a lot of new guys on both sides. Not much of a test yet by anybody. San Francisco beat a Division III team. That's it. They got a bunch of new guys. So our lineup today, as always, Glenn Rogers, high school football, Andy Schiffman on the Grizz, the Mavs, their struggles, everything else. And then Jason Munz. We'll talk about the Tigers and San Francisco tomorrow. We are busy. We always, before I get to our picks, we always make picks before we bring in our high school guru, Glenn Rogers Jr. I witnessed last night, I actually watched the game and witnessed one of the most heartbreaking, crazy things. That's why we love sports. Crazy things happen, right? Memphis is playing against UTSA. They're in the semifinals. Here's the only unbeaten team in the country. Third ranked. Brooks Madigan's team's amazing. They have all kinds of firepower. I don't think they've given up more than 2 goals in a single game. And they're in a Donnybrook. They actually fell behind. I think it might be the first time this year they were down 1-0. They come back and they tie it. It's 1-1 at the half. And then toward the end of the second half, an unbelievably great goal from just inside the 18-yard box on the right side. I'm not sure if it was a pass or if it was an attempt, but it went into the upper left corner of the net, and Memphis leads 2-1. You think it's over. They score a third goal. It's 3-1. Landon Schmidt, there's only 5 minutes to go. 3-1. They've not given up more than 2 goals this whole year. 5 minutes to go. That's money in the bank. They're going to play in the championship game. They're going to keep their number 1 rating. They're going to host the NCAA tournament. Maybe they'll be a number 1 seed. I think strength of schedule gets in the way of that, but maybe they will be. And then the unthinkable. They give up 2 goals in 2 minutes. It's tied 3-3. And then you have 2 10-minute overtime periods. I don't believe Texas San Antonio had a shot. Memphis just kept pouring it on and couldn't score. They dominated. If there was a time of possession for what it would be, 110 minutes, Memphis probably had the ball 80 minutes, 90 minutes of the 110. It was amazing. They just totally dominated the game except when it came to penalty kicks. They were awful. They lose 3-1. I still think they'll host around in the NCAA, but they're going to lose their number 1 seed. That a devastating loss to UTSA. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen anything more heartbreaking if you're a Memphis fan or scratching your head like Brooks Madigan was. There was also a very iffy call. There was definitely a trip in the box when Memphis had a legit opportunity to score in the second overtime, and they didn't call it. They called it, then they reversed it. And the 2 announcers doing the game on ESPN Plus were stunned. They thought for sure that should have been a call. I have not heard what Madigan thought about it, but my gosh, that is brutal. And so a lot lost last night. Of course, it's not the end of the season. They're in the NCAA tournament, but to have a loss that way when you led 3-1 with 5 minutes to go and you have this unbeatable defense, the goalie made a mistake on the second goal to make it 3-2. I mean, I don't know what she was thinking. But anyway, tough loss. All right. Landon, we like to do this every Friday. I'm 23-22 in the year. You're 18-27, and we don't have that many more weeks to go in this thing. I've got 5 games. I probably should have picked, but listening to Brandon Lang, the Texas Tech BYU game, that's a weird line in my estimation.
It really is.
Texas Tech is one of the best teams money can buy, but BYU's pretty good. I don't get it, but we're not doing that game. We are doing A&M at Missouri. First game. A&M, I think, is for real. Missouri's got a backup quarterback. It's only 6.5. I know it's in Columbia. I know everybody's crazy about Drinkwitz and what he's accomplished, and they should. And he may be leaving, for all we know, after this season. He'll be a man, I think, sought after. Maybe Penn State. We'll see. I have to believe that A&M is playing for a lot. They're undefeated. They got to keep that going. I think they will. 6.5 is not a troublesome number for me at all. It's less than a touchdown. I think they're going to end up winning this game, even on the road, by at least 7, maybe 10. I like the Aggies.
I'm right there with you. I'm going to start off agreeing with you there because Missouri is good. They've shown that they can make games close and make good competition. But like you said, with backup quarterback and how good Texas A&M is rolling, I think that they, I wouldn't say run away with this, but they're going to win outright. And I agree. So I'm going to go with the Aggies.
Georgia is down in Starkville. I feel bad for Mississippi State. You know, they're one win away from being bowl eligible. They've let 2 games absolutely get away, in particular the Texas game.
They'll get their bowl eligibility.
You look at the 3 they got to play. I'm not sure where they're going to get it. You think they're going to get it this week?
No.
I don't either. I worry about that because I'd really like to see them make it. I would.
Me too.
But I don't think they're going to, and I don't think they're going to cover at all. The 9.5, Georgia has to make all these teams have to make statements now. I think Georgia's going to win by 14 points, so I'll give away the 9.5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I really like what I've seen with Mississippi State this year, from the abysmal season that they had last year, bouncing back and actually making good competition in almost every single game that they've played this year. It's been really good, and I do expect a lot of fireworks early in this game, kind of going back and forth, but Georgia will ultimately run away with this game, so go Dogs.
This is the one I don't get. It was Brandon Lang's paddle game for a minute, then he took it back, and he's not been very good in the paddle games. But Oregon is at Iowa. I know Iowa's got a better offense than they've had, and I know they still play pretty good defense. And I heard his rationale about how Oregon is disappointed. Oregon's 9th in that college football playoff ranking. They got a lot to play for. I just think they have too much firepower, and you're talking about only 6.5 a touchdown. I think Oregon's going to win by much more than that. I'm taking Oregon. I'll give you the points even on the road. A lot of road favorites here.
That's my exact reasoning, too. We're down the pike. We just saw the college football playoffs be released. Oregon's in it, and they're going to fight to keep that spot, possibly move up. So Oregon's definitely going to come in with some fire and run all over Iowa.
All right, we're 3 for 3. Same thought process here. Auburn is at Vanderbilt. They're taking on the Commodores in Nashville. Auburn with an interim coach. Are they going to have that spark? I don't buy it. Not this team. Not this late with nothing really to play for except making a bowl. But Vandy's got everything to play for. Vandy almost came back against Texas in Austin. Now they're home. They are looking still as an outsider looking in to make the college football playoffs. If they win out, they got a shot. They got Tennessee at the very end. I think they got Kentucky coming up. I mean, they got winnable games. This is incredibly winnable. Only 6.5 at home. I'm taking the home favorite in this game because I think they win by 10. It's only 6.5. Give me Vandy.
I'm right there with you. Yet again, I'm going with Vandy here. Auburn just lost their coach. I'm assuming that they're going to come into this game a little bit rattled and shaken. They've been doing good defensively, but Vandy just finds a way to make it done, specifically Diego Pavia. So I'm going to go with the Commodores to run away with it.
And then finally, Navy is at Notre Dame, and this line is very interesting to me. You know, Navy keeps the ball. Navy's got a superstar in Blake Horvath. I don't think Navy's winning the game by any means. 26.5 with a time possession team with a superstar at QB that can keep the chains moving, and most of the time it's 4 downs. At least if you're near your own 40, they go that way. I don't see Notre Dame covering. I still don't think this is a great Notre Dame team. They lost those first 2 games. I don't believe they should be in the playoff picture. but they are but 26.5, even though it is in South Bend. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take Navy to cover. No chance of winning, but I don't think Notre Dame beats them by more than 3 touchdowns, 21 points.
So this is going to be the only game we disagree on.
I'm
going to go Notre Dame. I think that offensively, Arkansas is a better put-together team than Navy is. And Notre Dame absolutely dismantled them in their game that actually led to their coach getting fired. So I expect Notre Dame to really do well in this game, run away. I can definitely see them covering that point spread. If it doesn't, I'll be disappointed, because that'll be the only game that we disagree on. But I don't know. I like this Notre Dame team. I'm a huge Jeremiah Love fan. I think he's one of the best running backs in the game, and I expect him to do really well in this game. So go Fighting Irish.
I know you had to be very happy, by the way, that Brandon Lang picked your Rainbow Warriors over
we're all Hawaii
San Diego
fans, aren't
State. I guess I could be.
At least for this week.
For this week, absolutely.
Yeah. We don't want San Diego State advancing.
No. You're right. I mean, that loss knocks them out, so that would be good.
That would solve a lot of problems.
Knocking out, I've got some things that'll knock you out in a good way because the wait's finally over. The grand opening of the newly remodeled Landers Cadillac of Memphis is in full swing. You can get grand opening savings on all the remaining new Escalades, $20,000 in total savings. Can you believe? I mean, you can get an Escalade and save $20,000 all because they've reopened Landers Cadillac of Memphis. What a deal. And, by the way, they're paying top dollar for trades. See how much you can save with the Landers Easy Pass. That's at CadillacofMemphis.com. Go there, you'll see, and you'll be amazed. Don't miss out on all the exceptional grand opening offers. The best new Cadillac models are going to sell fast. They always do. And remember, if it doesn't say Landers, you definitely paid too much. All right, let's head down Ridgeway. Real simple. You just go north from here, and you will be, well, you got to go a little bit further. I was thinking he was at MUS, but he's at Christian Brothers. Now you got to go the other way somehow to Walnut Grove. Glenn Rogers Jr. standing by. Your old school last night was playing on a Thursday in the high school playoffs. We got plenty of high school playoff games. I mean, we got so many to choose from. But MUS, all banged up from that Christian Brothers rivalry game, really took it on the chin last night. 44-14 to Montgomery Bell. Montgomery Bell came into that game only 5-4. How good are they? And I know that had to be a disappointing loss for all of the Owl fans.
Yeah, good morning, Dave. On this Easy Beat Friday, you and all our listeners. I think it was probably a very disappointing loss for the Owls. Getting beat by Montgomery Bell like that. Last year, I know the inauguration, the stadium dedication, it was a big beat down last year. I think it was 31-0 last year, 33-0 last year on the day they dedicated the stadium to Coach Austin. But another big 30-point win by Montgomery Bell, the Big Red. And NBA, I think they're a decent team. I don't think they're one of the top echelon teams in our league this year. Like you said, 5-4. Finished the season actually really 5-5. 4-5. Now they're 5-4. I'm 5-5.
I believe MUS was 6-4 going into that game, so they end up finishing the year 6-5, and now Montgomery Bell is 6-4.
Exactly, they're moving on. Montgomery Bell's moving on. They play Brentwood Academy, which I think is one of the better teams in our league, and so tall task for Montgomery Bell, but a big win last night for the Big Red over MUS last night in Nashville. Due to the storms, I think that's why they moved that game to Thursday night, Dave. Expect a lot of storm action in Nashville tonight.
All right. We got 11 games to choose from. So, Lord, we better move on. Let's start with Davidson, 6-4 at Lausanne, 6-3. Kevin LeCastro's team, little tough start to the year. Got a big break against you guys when they played in Christian Brothers, and the referees didn't know the rules. They've parlayed that into some momentum, 6-3. Who wins that game tonight?
But Kevin to me has got one of the most talented teams, in the area. Tough scheduling, really played a tough schedule. Like you said, they got off to a record start, but they found a footing right now. I think Kevin then wins this game and keep marching on. He just got talent. The Brick kid is very, very talented, Dave, and he's got other guys, and they've been playing well up front lately. They've been getting their ground game going. The quarterback's been playing well, and they've been playing tough on defense all year long. So I give Los Angeles a nod today, Dave.
All right. Arlington, a team that we were all scratching our heads. They weren't very good last year. They got off to a kind of a slow start this year, but they ended up with a lot of momentum, 7-3. But they got to take on this Southwind team that is perfect, 10-0, and their quarterback, Kendrick Perkins, by the way, has been nominated for his class's Mr. Tennessee Football. Who wins that one?
And, great turnaround, storybook season from Arlington. They've been, we've been talking about this year for this Arlington team for years, Dave, why they can't get it together. But, hey, they found the coach, 7 wins. But I tell you what, they're going up against a buzzsaw tonight, Dave. Kid Perkins, he's accounted, Dave, I think, for almost 50 touchdowns, 39 through the air, 10 running. He's electrifying. If he doesn't win Mr. Football, they need to cancel the award because
there's a lot of Middle Tennessee and East Tennessee bias. There's not enough voters in West Tennessee to equal things out. It's amazing. You look at the Super Polls, and the Memphis schools are always at the very bottom if they make it at all.
Yeah, and Dave, who that he's going up against has accounted for almost 50 touchdowns. Show me that kid. I like to meet him because Perkins, he can run, he can throw, he can do it all. He can make a bad play out of a great play. So if Southwind gets the win, he keeps marching on toward that gold ball up the road.
I still don't understand. Nobody's really ever answered this for me. I mean, you're talking about a guy responsible for 50 because I think he caught one pass. I don't get why Austin Peay is his only offer. There has to be some flaw that we're not seeing or not talking about that limits his ability to not be even from a group of 5 school or certainly a lower rung SEC school. Why is there no interest in Perkins?
Well, I think that, he most of those big schools consider him an athlete. The kid wants to prove that he can play quarterback, which I can respect that. He's a great athlete, but, Dave, in the portal, and we live in the portal world now, there's more quarterbacks in the portal than any position in college football. And so these bigger schools, they're going to go with a portal kid. They're going to try to get a quarterback out of the portal. So it leaves a high school kid in a bad spot, especially a kid with his kind of talent. And so I just think him being judged as an athlete with on most people's board, the kid wants to try to make it a quarterback. Austin Peay's giving him that chance, and hey, way to go, Austin Peay, because I think the kid can play quarterback. He's intelligent. He's a smart kid. Not a very big kid. He's right at 6 feet. Like I said, when I look at him on tape, he reminds me of Barry Burnett a lot with his athletic ability.
All right. I don't like putting down any schools. I really don't. Those kids play hard, but it's hard for me to get excited about a 2-7 team making the playoffs. But I guess when you got limited numbers in your district or whatever it may be, you get to play. You get a second chance. Maybe that works out. Most likely it doesn't. Houston is 2-7. They've had a tough year. A lot of young players. They take on a Germantown team that's got to be mad. They started out undefeated. They've had a very bad end of the year. They're 7-3. They got to be the overwhelming favorites in this game in the neighborhood rivalry.
Exactly, Dave. And like you said, it's a flawed system. Anytime you have a losing record, why is there a reward for that? I think the system is flawed in all of our leagues and districts. Even in our league, we got a 1-9 team, Father Ryan, in the playoffs. So they need to fix that. If you're under 500, you shouldn't be in the playoffs. And so I totally agree with that, Dave. Germantown started off great. Mumford, they ran into Mumford, then they ran into Kendrick Perkins last week, Dave. And so, Gene's got to be upset. They went down to Madison County, lost the game. Got to be upset, but it's playoff time now, and I'm sure Gene has drilled that in his kids. They played a tough schedule, but guess what? a 2-7 team in Houston. It is a neighborhood rivalry, so you got to be careful. I think Gene wins this game and marches on to the second round.
Whitehaven is 5-4, and yet they've got to go to Bartlett. That's 4-6. I don't get that. I'm suspecting Whitehaven is the favorite.
Yeah, they beat Bartlett earlier this year. The running back went crazy in that game for Whitehaven, ran for a bunch of yards. And Rodney Salisbury, one of the seasoned coaches in our area, been in Whitehaven his whole career. I think Whitehaven gets the win. Bartlett's been, to me, they've seen much improved from when we saw them early in the year when they had their struggles. But I see Whitehaven getting the win tonight, and Coach Salisbury getting his Tigers to the second round.
White Station is 4-6. They've played a very, very tough schedule, and they're always, it seems to me, competitive. But they got to go to Collierville, and the Dragons are 7-3. Give me your take on that.
Yeah, White Station is another program, much improved, been through the struggles last 3 years, not making the playoffs, and they found their coach. He's got them going in the right direction. More wins in the last couple of years for them. But I think Joe Riccone and Collierville, they're poised and ready for a playoff run. That 6A division is a tough division, Dave. We've seen that all year. I think the Dragons get a win, and Coach Riccone takes his team to the second round.
Dixon County 6-4. They got to take on Central. So good. They've upset people. They're 8-2. How does that break down?
Well, I tell you, Dixon County is tough, Dave. But I think Major. I think he's got his team ready to make a deep run in the playoffs. His son's at quarterback. I'm sure they got some guys that were out. They had a lot of guys out during fall break. I don't know if it's due to injury or guys just on vacation. And I know in the MUS game he had some guys missing. I think Major and them gets a win. They played a tough schedule, good opponents all year. They've been in every ball game. Besides the Southwind game, yeah. I think they get a win tonight, Dave.
Bolivar Central 4-6. They got to go to Melrose 8-1. That seems one-sided.
Yeah, and we know, Dave, when Melrose has a great team, the whole neighborhood is rocking. What a sight to see when those fans and those leather jacket winners come out. I think Melrose gets a win. The Morrow Twins, co-head coaches, they get a win. They got a lot of talent. I think they beat Bolivar Central and take the Wildcats, the Golden Wildcats, to the second round of the playoffs.
Mays has had an average year for them. They're 500, 5-5, and they got to take on Milan. They haven't lost. They're 9-0, and it's in Milan.
Yeah, and but I tell you, Dave, if nobody's never been to Milan when they're rolling, it's like Orange Mountain. It's a sight to see. They close the whole city down. Everybody's at the ball game supporting their team. That's going to be a tall task for Mace going up there. But I see Milan getting the win, David. When you got those small towns that have an undefeated record, the support that they get through the neighborhood and the community is just a brilliant and awesome sight to see. I think they get the win tonight. Milan marches on to the second round and ends Mace's season.
Our final game you don't pick because you're in it. That is Knoxville Catholic 5-4. The Brothers are 5-5. That sounds like a toss-up game to me, but it is at Walnut Grove and I-240, so that would seem to me to give you a slight edge. How
Absolutely.
What's got to happen in this game? What's the breakdown?
Well, they 6 hours traveling today, Dave, and that takes a toll on you. Anybody tell you that? We've done that several times over the years. We need our big student section, our best student section in the country. We need all our fans out to support. They got a Tennessee commit at receiver, a Notre Dame commit at corner. We got to get our ground game going with our running back and our quarterback, Nate Brick, the freshman. Play action. Once Will J. Mason gets the ground game going, our offensive line up front, now we can play action and get the ball to our playmaker, Javon Slayton, on special teams as well as in the offense. And then defensively, Dave, we got to do an excellent job tonight of stopping the chunk plays, the big passing plays. We can't give up the explosive plays on defense. That way we give our offense a chance to keep those guys on the sideline, and we can keep Will J. Mason running that ball, take time off the clock. That's going to be our formula in the playoffs, Dave, to keep this train on the track and keep the Purple and Gold Nation happy that we're in the playoffs.
Good luck to you guys tonight. Tell me what are the Tigers going to do tonight?
I tell you, I'm excited for the Tigers. I can't be at the game, but I see us winning a close game with Tulane tonight and keep our playoff hopes alive because I think Ryan and his staff deserve it. a lot of chatter about Coach Stillfield leaving, but I think he knows this is a great opportunity, a great place for him to continue his career, college coaching career. And I think his staff members love being here. So Tiger Nation should show out tonight because Tulane has always been a thorn in our side in a rivalry. And so I see the Tigers pulling out a close win tonight. It's not going to be easy because Tulane will fight all the way tooth and nails to the end.
Amen to that prediction. Thank you much, Glenn. And let's see if the brothers can pull it off, too. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Go, brothers, and go Tigers, go. Thank you, Dave.
All right, Glenn Rogers, brought to you in part by Family Leisure. That sale continues. Right now, you can get a hot tub or a swim spa because it's a clearance sale with great prices. The hot tubs at under $2,500. Those big swim spas, they're like treadmills with water. Really unbelievable for cardio and good on your joints. They start at under $15,000, and the best part is in-stock patio furniture, all state-of-the-art. That's up to 50% off. It's the big sale going on now at Family Leisure. Tell them we sent you. You get a free gift with a hot tub purchase. That's Family Leisure, I-40 and Wooden Road, where family and fun come together. We pause for a second. When we come back, we go to Chicago. We talk NBA with our agent from Priority Sports. That's Andy Schiffman, and he's next.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations, fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad. Or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. I'd sure love to see you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hi, friends. It's Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers. The seasons have changed, and fall is my favorite time of the year. Fall means that Christmas is right around the corner, and we all start preparing for that most wonderful time of the year. All families have their own traditions, and they bring so much joy. And a part of that joy comes in giving gifts to those we love. For over 5 decades, Russell Brothers Jewelers has been the source of many of the most beautiful gifts ladies in Memphis have ever seen. Gifts that are cherished and frequently handed down from one generation to the next. Gentlemen, as you think about a gift for your special lady this Christmas or any time, I hope you will think about Russell Brothers Jewelers. Beauty, value, quality, and service are our hallmarks at Russell Brothers. This Christmas, come see us at Russell Brothers. We will help make you the best St. Nick ever. Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
To Chicago we go. Our agent standing by. That would be Andy Schiffman. Cooper Flag and the Mavericks are in town. They've struggled a bit here. The Grizzlies in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. One of these teams is going to bounce out of it tonight. But let's start, Andy, with the No Joy drama that we saw this week and the kind of feud with him and the coaching staff in Tuomas Isolo. And there's, I guess, a lot of discussion about rotations and shortened minutes for starters, and that's the way Isolo likes to do it. What are your thoughts on these things? Good morning.
Morning, Dave. Look, it's a problem. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think that the Grizzlies have very high expectations now, obviously with a healthy Ja back, but it's a transition. And I think that from the outside looking in, I think the rest of the league is understanding, all right, like, you are missing some of these key pieces in brand new free agent signing, our guy, Ty Jerome, who's coming back hopefully this month, Zach Edey, who is days away, Brandon Clark, obviously, Scottie Pippen Jr. is gone with an injury, and then you've got Isolo, who obviously is still a relatively new coach, and don't forget, like, he's a European head coach at heart, and so that style is just inherently different. His coaching demeanor and the way he communicates probably within that locker room, it is just different than anything that some of these guys, and John, Jaron included, have really ever encountered or experienced. And so I'm not necessarily like, look, if you're from the outside looking in, again, like, there's a lot that I just described that I think maybe a lot of people are saying, well, we're not really worried. They're going to get Edey back. It'll work itself out. But look, if you're within that organization, I think you have to figure out a way for everyone to get on the same page, and it needs to happen quickly. Because the last thing you want is a disgruntled Ja Morant, and he has not done it yet, but you saw this with Jimmy Butler. You've seen this around the league when superstars get frustrated for the first half of the season. And if this losing, Dave, continues, do not be surprised if we get to the trade deadline and you hear from Ja and his camp, I want to be traded. I would not rule that out. Things have to really turn around right now for that not to happen. And I'm not saying it will happen, but right now I'm just fearful that that's the path you're heading down. And I applaud Isolo and his staff for kind of, look, this is how we're going to coach this team. I'm not Taylor Jenkins. I'm not one of your prior coaches. This is my team. I've been given the responsibility to coach you, and this is how I'm going to do it. And he's not bending for anybody, which is great. And I think that's the approach he should take. But in the NBA, everyone has an ego, especially these superstars. So that's when you see friction, and that's what you've seen so far with the Grizzlies.
Well, how do you think the resolution ends up happening here? You got a guy, literally, he quit in the second half of the LA.
Yeah, I watched these games.
Okay.
So poor body language, you just like jogging down the court. You don't want to see that from your supposed leader.
How does this play out? What do you think's going to happen?
Look, I hate to say it. I think one of two or three things could happen. One, which you and I both know, unfortunately, this is probably the last option, that Ja just says, you know what, this is on me. I'm the leader of this team. I'm a max player. Like, I need to straighten up and fly right. And if this is my coach, and maybe I don't agree with everything that he's putting in place, but, you know, he's the coach. He's the boss, right? So I need to put a good head on my shoulders and lead this team and do whatever's asked of me and bring energy and effort, because I set the example for the 14 other guys on this roster.
He's never been that kind of a guy.
Exactly.
I mean, he actually took some accountability after the loss the other night to Houston. But let's be honest, the scenario you just painted, what are the odds on that?
Exactly. So that's what I said. I don't see that happening. And then the other alternatives, unfortunately, are, okay, what do the Grizzlies do? If it's more of the same, do they just continue to show their frustration and potentially suspend him for violating team protocols, whatever they want to call it, but they're trying to punish him? It's like a child. I don't think you can do that. I think the more you punish Ja, the more he's going to act up. And you saw that a little bit with the suspension from the league with the whole gun stuff last year. He was still kind of doing it and kind of throwing it back in the league's face because of just the aura of Ja Morant, right? The brand of Ja Morant. Like, he's bigger than just a player on the Memphis Grizzlies, and that could become problematic when egos get in the way, as I mentioned. So I don't necessarily think that's the right move. I don't really know what that could lead to. If that does happen, and as Zach and the front office continue to try and sit him or just, make him an example, or set a tone and say, you know what, if it's going to be continued bad behavior, then we're just going to have to suspend you again, then you really are kind of accelerating this whole notion that he could be traded. So, again, wishful thinking, but they really got to turn things around. And look, I'm an optimist. I'm hopeful that when Zach Edey comes back, when he's playing alongside Ty Jerome, which don't forget he did a little bit in the preseason, so obviously in training camp they did play together. They'll stack some wins together. Hopefully, a struggling Dallas team that you mentioned in town tonight, they can get that one at home and try and right the ship and get everyone on the same page. And all of a sudden, look, I think winning cures everything, just about. So we'll see. I'm hopeful that'll happen, but they really got to nip this in the bud and find a way to straighten things out and just get everyone on the same page. And like it could be a problem, but we're not quite there just yet in terms of his potential departure for Memphis.
Let's just say they don't. And there's a choice between Ja or Isolo. What do you think Memphis does?
That's a very tough call, and you're setting a very dangerous precedent if you say, well, we're just going to keep Ja because he's been vocal about Isolo and he wants out. And look, you saw this with Coach Bud after he had some success in Milwaukee, and he had a really successful season, and then Giannis was the front runner to come out and say, hey, Bucks front office, I don't want to play for Bud anymore. Now, as good as Ja is, this is Giannis that has won an NBA championship.
Right.
And you don't have that with Ja. And so, again, like, I do believe in any of these NBA organizations, when you feel like you've kind of hit a ceiling with a specific star player, it's very difficult to move past that without just saying, you know what, we don't want to run the risk of having a disgruntled player here. Again, he still has, I believe, a couple more years on his contract. There's no extension talks, and we don't want to run the risk of losing him in free agency. So we need to go ahead and cut ties and trade him to get good pieces in return. Because there's no question you can get a nice haul for Ja. What does that look like? I don't know.
That was my next question. Is there still the kind of value from 2 years ago before the gun stuff and all the other problems that have gone with it and injuries?
Right.
What kind of value do you get for Ja?
Well, absolutely not. First of all, the value is not what it was in like the 2021 or 21-22 season when he was at his peak, All-NBA, et cetera. He hasn't proven he can play an 82-game season. There's obviously a lot of off-the-court drama that surrounds them that feel like every single season. And I'd like to think, okay, we're finally past that. But, like, here we are again in November, and there's talk about the tension in Memphis, right? And so, for sure, again, you're talking about an elite superstar, top 3% in the NBA in terms of skill set, and he's very young still. So could the Grizzlies get multiple first-round picks and a star player or potentially two for him? I do think so. You got, 4 unprotected picks for Desmond Bane? And Desmond Bane's obviously a very nice player, and they just happened to partner with a team that coveted Desmond Bane for a very long time. I don't know if that's out there for Ja. I don't know if there's been a team that has been calling Memphis every season to say, hey, whenever you're ready to look at moving Ja, don't forget about it, because then you have leverage. I mean, I don't know. So you can get a nice haul for him, but I think if you're a Grizzlies fan and you're thinking, hey, we should go ahead and trade Ja and expect to get the likes of a Devin Booker back or some other all-star caliber player, I'm not quite certain that return can happen right now.
I think instead of picks, you'd have to get a star. That to me is
I think
what
you
you'd
get a
have
combination.
to do. Yeah. All right. On better note, Cooper Flagg comes in. Cedric Howard is also in the conversation now for Rookie of the Year. Maybe the favorite is VJ Edgecombe from Philly, who's leading all the scorers. Do you think Howard's got a chance to be Rookie of the Year? I'm waiting. I got to figure Isolo and Zach Kleiman at some point are going to collaborate and say, we got to play this guy as a starter.
Yeah. Look, I wouldn't put that past him. Obviously, I think he's playing a lot right now. We'll see what happens when they get some more healthy bodies back. And I think that, look, if the Grizzlies are in a position after the trade deadline in March and April where they're just completely out of the playoff picture, if he hasn't been starting then I for sure think it's beneficial for both sides to put Cedric in the starting lineup for his expedited development, more minutes, etc. I don't quite put him at with the chance of getting Rookie of the Year. To your point, B.J. Edgecombe was a star in college at Baylor. He's a star now with Philadelphia. Cooper's been up and down to me, but I think he's still going to be there.
He's in the wrong position too. They're playing him as a point guard.
Exactly, point guard. Right.
I've heard the guys on Inside the NBA rip that move. By the way.
Yeah. No, and look, and you're only 6, 7, 8 games in here, right? So I don't think necessarily that's going to continue. But I do think at the end of the day, when you talk about rookie rankings and Rookie of the Year voting, he's going to be right there. I do think Coward could definitely end up as a top 3 or 4 vote getter for Rookie of the Year. Look, we have a player, Con Knipple with Charlotte, and everyone's kind of forgetting about Charlotte. But I've watched all their games having Mason Plumlee on the team, Ryan Kalkbrenner on the team, who's another rookie that's, I think, leading the league in field goal percentage. I think the guy's missed about 5 shots all season because he's 7'2" and just a monster inside. And then you've got Con Knipple. And then don't forget about, 2 players that I don't represent, but LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller there. They are a fun team to watch. And I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, they're going to vie for home court advantage in the playoffs or anything. But they are a quick-paced, up-tempo, fun team to watch with a lot of really good young players. And Con has been great shooting the ball. He was a freshman at Duke before he entered the draft, 4th overall pick. So I think he's another guy that you're going to – I would probably put Con ahead of Cedric Howard, quite honestly. But again, we're only 5, 6, 7 games in.
We're 2
so
weeks in.
Ask me again come February.
I will. And next week, remind me to ask you about length in the NBA. How much bigger can we get? Houston's lineup averaged 6'10" when they started against Memphis. Of course, Van Vliet's not playing. 6'10" was their average height.
Yeah.
We know Victor Wembanyama is 7'4". Have you heard about this kid from Florida? There's a Canadian, Oliver Rue. The kid's 7'9".
7'9".
Are we going to see an 8-footer in my lifetime?
I mean, I think so. I don't know where it's going to come from, but the length is getting crazy. You think about where the NBA was 20 years ago. Okay, minute balls. But, like, now, here's the crazy thing, and I know we may be short on time. We can pick this up next week, Dave, but you look at the skill set Wemby has with that length, and a lot of times if you're like, well, why does length really matter? The guy can stretch his arms out and get to the basket from the free throw line. And these players who play all their life and all of a sudden hit that growth spurt and see their length, they begin to learn how to utilize that length to really get around their defenders to get to the basket. And they're very crafty, and that's only going to continue.
Crazy stuff. Andy Shipman, thank you. We'll talk next Friday.
Sounds good, Dave. Thanks.
That's our agent in Chicago from Priority Sports. That is Andy Shipman. He's brought to you by Sheldon. Are you selling? Are you buying? You got to go see my guy. He's got 4 houses under contract right now, 2 in East Memphis, 1 in Germantown, 1 on the busiest streets in town. In the past, he sold homes on Poplar, Walnut Grove, Park Avenue. The only thing missing was one on the interstate. Well, somebody called him about this beautiful home, by the way, that backed up to I-40 near Walnut Grove. That one sold because he can do it. He does it all. So wherever you're located, downtown, midtown, Germantown, Collierville, talk to 2 or 3 real estate agents. Just make sure my guy Sheldon is one. He's got that highly successful strategic marketing program that makes the difference in what you make and when you make it. Reach him 2 ways, 483-0546, or this one says it all, MemphisRelocate.com. We relocate down to Mississippi. We talk Tiger hoops with Munzie in a minute.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
You know, sometimes I wish I had a gun.
Well, I'm armed, but before I bought one, I still went to Top Gun Academy to learn to protect myself without a gun.
How is that possible?
Top Gun's personal protection training. It's perfect if you want to protect yourself without firearms.
I don't know.
And it's perfect if you feel the need to carry a gun for self-defense, because the last thing you really want to do is shoot.
That is scary.
Not at Top Gun. It's very comfortable, and you learn to load, handle, and shoot a handgun safely. Protect yourself. Go to Top Gun Academy. They're at 2770 Winton Road.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, everybody out there. Walker Taylor with Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Football season is upon us. Nothing better for your next tailgate party than a barbecue buffet spread provided by the Germantown or Collierville Commissary. Catering, self-serve or full, is a specialty of ours. No party too small, no party too large. You can check out our pricing and the items we feature at commissarybbq.com. Holidays will be upon us soon. At our Collierville location, we have a party room for 30 up to 100, perfect for family, business, or church functions. We also have a patio at the Collierville location, perfect in the fall for enjoying football and eating barbecue. Monday through Friday at the Collierville location, we also offer an all-you-can-eat buffet featuring barbecue pulled pork, ribs, fried chicken, and catfish. Each location also offers a $10.95 lunch special, a sandwich, a side, and a drink. Please come visit us at the original in Germantown by the railroad tracks or our new location in Collierville at Houston Levy and Poplar. And as always, go Tigers go.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Always a joy to talk to our friend Jason Munz. And a program note, Jason Munz will be moving to Tuesdays in the slot where Jonah Dillon is. Jonah Dillon will be joining us next Friday, so we'll get Munzie today. And also on Tuesday, lots to talk about. The opener is tomorrow afternoon. 2 o'clock FedEx Forum. San Francisco is in town. In the meantime, a couple of interesting press conferences from Penny Hardaway talking about energy and talent. And the most talented players don't necessarily have the high energy that he was hoping for. I thought that was eye-opening. Good morning, Mr. Munn.
Good morning, Mr. Woloshin. Yeah, eye-opening, alarming, disturbing, disconcerting, a lot of words.
That's why you're a writer. You're a thesaurus, baby.
I mean, like these are things that just come to, like, these are emotions that I can imagine some may be feeling after listening to what Penny Hardaway has said the last 2 times that he has spoken publicly. It started after the Auburn exhibition last week, which obviously everybody knows went very, very poorly. And then it continued on Wednesday when Penny sat down with reporters to talk about Saturday's season opener against San Francisco. And the thing that I can't really grasp or compute is the fact that this seems to have come out of nowhere almost. I get, like he really believes that Hassan Abdul Hakim is going to be an integral part of the rotation, and he's hurt. He's not 100%. We'll just put it that way.
No, he's been injured, and he's not in the best of shape, and he's not near 100% apparently.
Yeah, and Tariq Ingram is also
out of shape.
yes, and he was going to be counted on, and I think still will be counted on pretty heavily. And so, I kind of understand those things. Those are somewhat recent developments, more recent than when he spoke back in September and told reporters that he feels like this is the second best roster that he's got, second most talented roster, second deepest roster of all the rosters that he's had since he became coach. But to go from that in a matter of about 6 weeks to now this, where he is saying things like he just hasn't been able to get everybody to buy in and give him what he needs, give him the energy he needs, the effort that he needs. And he's really kind of singling. He's not giving any specifics. He's not saying who, where the problems are coming from, specifically, naming names. But he is saying that the guys, what he said on Wednesday, which was pretty, as you said, eye-opening. The guys who are more talented, the more talented players on his roster are the ones that he's having trouble getting through to the most. That it's not an issue with the guys who maybe aren't quite as talented as the guys at the top of the roster.
So that is troubling, and the lack of fight, like the give up in the last 10 minutes of Arkansas. I'm not sure because I wasn't in Atlanta, but was there ever any fight in that game?
Here and there, maybe. I mean, to be fair, yes, Memphis was trailing by 25 at halftime. They only were outscored in the second half by Auburn by 4 points.
Right.
Auburn only won the second half 48-44. Now, is that partially because Auburn's taking the foot off the gas? Probably. But also, that shows some level of fight. You're down 25 in an exhibition game. What else is there really to... I'm sure that's what some of these guys are thinking, let's just get out of here. Let's just call it a night. But it didn't feel like that was necessarily, if you just look at the score, the second half, it doesn't seem like that was the case. And then you look at certain guys, like Sincere Parker played really, really well. And then Simon Majock, 13 and a half minutes in his very first ever competition in America as an 18-year-old, 5 points and 7 rebounds, and he had that extremely nice coast to coast that featured a behind the back dribble to get an Auburn defender to whiff on him, and he went ahead and finished through contact and got the whistle.
Maybe that's the brightest spot. Hey, and Doug McDaniels. I like Quante Berry quite a bit, but I was talk about disconcerting hearing from him about a players meeting before the season's even started. That's jaw-like drama.
It's a little bit jarring. I can't say that I've ever heard of something like that. Come on. I'm sure there are quote-unquote meetings or meetups before seasons begin. But this very clearly, Quante Berry told us on Wednesday that this was an effort to get together and, quote, nip some things in the bud. And that is where I think it's whoa, this is pretty uncommon, that you have to get everyone on the same page. To nip some things in the bud, you have to call a special meeting. I think it was, he said the meeting took place Tuesday evening at the practice facility. So 4 days before tip-off, somebody somewhere felt like there needed to be a meeting of the minds. And, so jarring to say the least.
I didn't think this early you'd even grow a bud, but apparently we have. All right. Penny's talking about 7 or 8 guys. Who do you think those 7 or 8 guys are? And we know it's a given. Doug McDaniel's one of them.
Yeah, Doug McDaniel, Sincere Parker, Aaron Bradshaw, which, it's interesting since Aaron Bradshaw did not start against Auburn. Only 2, listen to this, only 2 players on this team started both exhibition games. Doug McDaniel's one of them.
Right.
You know the other one?
Yeah, Ashton Hardaway. So I got to figure he's going to be in that grouping. He's played him. He started him both times. So you got to put Ashton in there. I know that we had talked in the past. We had him down as 9, 10, maybe 11 in the rotation, but obviously that's not the case because Penny started him both games.
Yeah, I mean, there's another conversation there about whether or not, he's higher up in the rotation because of Hassan Abdul Hakim's injury, or, whether or not he should be a starter or not. Again, we don't know. Penny said on Wednesday he doesn't know who his starting lineup is going to be. Whether that's true or not, don't know.
He's just not talking.
Yeah, but so from where I sit, I think it's Doug McDaniel, Sincere Parker, Aaron Bradshaw. We'll put Ashton Hardaway in there for now, just because of what we've seen so far. I would say Tierno Stilla is probably in there. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Curtis Givens III, Quante Berry, and maybe Julius Bedford, maybe Simon Majok even. Honestly, I'll believe it when I see it, that it's 7 or 8. I'll believe that when I see it.
Well, you've gone 9 with Majok at 9.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to. I'm trying to defend.
Well, from what I've seen, wouldn't you have Berry over Givens? I mean, I hate the fact that Curtis has not played well. I'm crazy about the kid, but his numbers would tell you that he should be down in the rotation.
I would put Berry over Givens. I mean, listen, Givens is taking way too many shots. He was 4 for 23 in the exhibition games. He is taking way too many shots. I mean, he took 11 or 12 shots against Auburn. You know how many Doug McDaniel took against Auburn? 3.
That shouldn't be happening.
That's got to be
Penny has got to be the one that does something with that. All right, real quick before we run out of time here, the commitment from Jackson.
Yes,
Memphis native. That's big, a 4-star guy, although the schools that were chasing him were surprising to me. But there is another guy, a buddy of his named Fred Smith, who there are some major schools after him. Do you think Fred Smith follows Cello Jackson?
I would be very, very surprised if he doesn't. I mean, they're very close friends. They're practically best friends. I mean, the way Cello explained it to me is they are best friends. Fred is also from Memphis. He was at Cello's commitment announcement ceremony party thing over the last weekend. So it would be a big time swerve if Fred Smith did not follow suit and commit to Memphis. Cello was the first one to jump in for the class of 2026, and it's good. I mean, he plays in Miami. He plays high school ball in Miami.
Right.
Played with the Boozer twins last year at the school called Columbus, Christopher Columbus High School. I think they won a national championship. But he came up and played for FACS in Memphis and played for D. Wilkes there. And, yeah, I mean, he's a 4-star, top 100 guy. I think he had some more schools, some more attractive schools than the Texas State, the Murray State, the Arkansas State that were his finalists after him earlier in the process.
Because he had a good summer on the AAU circuit. It also comes at a time I find it interesting. This is why I think Fred Smith follows, is that Penny said he's veering a little bit away from portal exclusive to going back to local high school kids. So that makes me think some pretty good prospects are on the way. Jason, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
All right. Thanks, Wolo.
Thank you. That's Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal. He's brought to you by Southern Security. Need cash? You can refinance your auto loan with Southern Security and have no payment for 60 days. Southern Security, by the way, will finance up to 115% of the current value of your vehicle for up to 72 months. To find out how you can put more cash in your pocket, either make a call to a member service team guy at 901-452-7900, or you can apply online the more modern way at southernsecurity.org. By the way, they're opening up their new branch in Collierville middle of December. I think we're going to be out there for that. I'm looking forward to seeing all that new technology. Southern Security, a proud supporter of U of M Athletics and 901 Women, federally insured by NCUA, the best credit union in Memphis, voted by you the last 6 years. Southern Security. That's your home team credit union. We'll see you tonight at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium or tomorrow at FedEx Forum. We'll talk about it all on Monday when we reconvene. Johnny Radio's next. Have a great day, everybody.